What? Cartoon, tune. Yo, what's up guys, the Insane Game Freak here to bring you another Nostalgia Rush. Yes, a new Nostalgia Rush, and this one's not necessarily going to be on a show. Well, it's a show, but it's like shows within a show, and it's the What a Cartoon Show. Now, a lot of people may not recognize this, but let's just say What If a Cartoon is pretty much the way they pretty much tested for new shows without actually just making pilots of everything. Well, actually, you're technically making like a 7-minute pilot, and if it's good enough, it turns into a cartoon. What a Cartoon Show was that show? I think the Nickelodeon equivalent to this was like Club Blam, I believe, which is pretty much a show in which they give you like usually 2 or 3 or 4 different little short 7-minute mini-sodes, and some of them, if they did well enough, would get, you know, promoted to actual show status. And actually, ironically, some of the shows that we like on Cartoon Network during that era were some of these What a Cartoon shows. Like, I think actually the beginnings of Family Guy is on there, because Seth MacFarlane made one. It's like Steve and Larry, which is pretty much almost the same kind of premise of Brian and Peter, but you know, obviously Family Guy expanded it a lot more. But the point is, you can see the early beginnings of Family Guy in his little short Steve and Larry. You also had Courage the Cowardly Dog that came from that show. I believe Powerpuff Girls came from that show. And something else. Another, I want to say Dexter's Lab, which it might be that remote short, if anyone's seen it. You know, the one where Dexter makes a remote and they turns each other into animals and it kind of goes back and forth. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that might be from What a Cartoon. But that's what a cartoon was. It was a way to kind of gauge what worked and what didn't. And some of them were just kind of extensions or variations on previously established ideas. And some of them were just kind of one-offs, like never meant to really be shows, just kind of done as a kind of a one-off kind of thing. Like there was no, it was obviously, some of these were not really meant to be set up for TV shows. So most of this Nostalgia Rush is going to be me gushing about which cartoons I like the most. The one that I always think of when I hear What a Cartoon, also the intro for it was just awesome, because they would get whatever show, like whatever skit was going to be focused on. I think it's usually a voice actor from that actual clip or that little short would do the whole What a Cartoon little setup. Like it was never the same, and that was cool as hell. But the thing, but some of the favorite shorts I had from it, like the one I always think of when I think of What a Cartoon, I think it was the first one I watched, is the Help short. The Help short is pretty much about a cat who he's like sewing and he sticks his finger and he's, you know, in pain, so he goes to the hospital. And remember, this is like this ridiculous adventure of being harassed and trying to get his finger fixed at the hospital. And see, the premise doesn't even sound that interesting, and then you'll watch it, and it's just weirdly entertaining. Like, I can't, like, then again, that's how I kind of feel about 90s cartoons in general. Some of them are just weirdly entertaining. And the Help short was one of those shorts. It was just kind of like, oh, look, the doctors and his little assistants are crazy. Also, like, the fact that they use, like, stock African noise, like, African people noises for the kids. They're like, it was so stupid. You got these 3 little clones mimicking the doctor, but every time they would start harassing someone, you hear that African music coming out of nowhere. You're just like, what the fuck is that? And then, like, the situations the cat ends up in, like, at one point it's like his fingers hurt, but for some reason the doctor takes him through the full rounds. He gets his mouth operated on. You're looking at a skeleton. He even had him do like physical training. Like the scene I always remember is the scene in which they're like, get on the treadmill, and he gets on the treadmill and the dude kind of starts speeding it up, and when he hits that highest setting, the cat kind of just goes into this weird what the fuck mode where like he feels like he's running up a mountain. There's like a Yeti scaring him, there's lightning strikes everywhere, and there are dogs chasing him. It's just like, it was so ridiculous. I don't know why I remember that short the most, but that's the one I like. Another one I don't remember all these by their names or the titles, but I remember some of them. One of them is about the, and some of these had really weird art styles and setups and premises. Some of them were actually pretty dark. Like the other one that always comes to mind is, I forget the full name, but I know it's a paranoid worm. Where the concept is you have this worm that's all about peace and love, and like one day a human kind of walks by and just steps on them. They over exaggerate how badly because the human like he keeps running back and forth, and then there's like that one scene where he comes up the door and be like, he's like, honey, I gotta go to work, I'll see you later. And he's like, oh wait, I forgot my golf shoes today. And he walks out and he just steps on the worm like 6 times, and the worm's like because I mean think about it. The first opening scene to that short was the worm kind of like this, and then he turns around and he goes, oh, you filthy children! Don't look at me! Look at yourselves! He's super paranoid and shit. It was so ridiculous. Because the premise of the cartoon is that the human steps on him, so he wants to kill the human. And so we go through this period in which he's like with his girlfriend, he's like concocting this thing to kill the human, but he accidentally drops it and burns like half. He looks like Two-Face for a second. And then he's like, oh, I feel so bad because he had hate in his heart and shit. It was so stupid. And then he goes to apologize to the human. And the way he goes and kills me, he's like, he goes up to the door, he's like, you don't know me, but I had hate in my heart. It was so ridiculous. Oh God, there's a lot of cartoons were cool that I actually would have liked to see extended versions of. Like I forget what it is, but it's like the two cats. This setup is actually used a few times. George and Junior. George and Junior, and then there's like the one they did with the cats that are kind of the same up. I forget the name of the actual cats themselves, but they're like two cats in this concept of having the short smart guy that has his, like the cats, it was like the short smart guy that was addicted to money and the dumb fat cat who like messes everything up. And then they did that with the bears, you know, George and Junior, where George was the short smart one and Junior was the dumb fat one. And they did this. George and Junior did the joke of, and actually I remember this being actual cartoons. So I thought it was funny that they actually extended into what a cartoon. Because, and the reason why you'll probably recognize the bears at least, is because every time Junior would mess up, George would be like, "Bend over, Junior." And every time he'd bend over and they would find some random or elaborate way to have him kick his ass. Like, that's all he would do. It's like his punishment for him to bend over and he just kicks his butt. It's just funny. I don't know why it's funny, but it's funny. And the one they did with the cats, where it's like, oh, we need money. Let's open up a dry cleaning business. And then it's like the president comes. You have to watch the president's suit by 5 o'clock. And the one scene that always makes me laugh when I see it is the scene in which the short smart cat's like, alright, Junior, well, I don't know his name is Junior, but I don't remember their names. He's like, alright, it's almost 5 o'clock, where's that suit? And you know you have the rack with the clothes coming around. Well, you see the clothes come around, all of a sudden you start seeing like slabs of meat come over. He's like, what the fuck is this? He runs into the back, and you see the fat cat. You see this cow with the X on his forehead, and there's like blood on the big cat's clothes. He's like, ha ha ha, ha ha. What was I supposed to be doing again? That one kills me, man. What a cartoon was cool just because it was it was showcasing animators and stories and just things that would build up to be cooler and cooler ideas. And as I said, we got shows out of that. You know, Curse the Cali Dog, Powerpuff Girls. It was cool to see that kind of stuff. Another one, and this is the other one, like right next to Help. This one, the tip short had me rolling. The tip short, for those who don't know what it is pretty much you have a pizza delivery service, which, you know, you got to get it there 5 minutes or less, or else you don't really get a tip. And the boss was hammering that in. If you get it 5 minutes left, then you got to get tips. Big tips. You gotta get tips. And then so the dude from Alaska calls asking for a pizza. He's like, get to the North Pole in 5 minutes or less. And so you see this elaborate, ridiculous thing of the pizza delivery boy going to deliver this pizza, going through all types of bullshit along the way. And then he finally gets over there, and the guy's like, I said no anchovies. No anchovies. No tip. And he flips out. It was so crazy. He goes, tip. No tip. No tip. He grabs like the harpoon. Come here, blubber man. He was like, harpoon was like, come here, blubber man. Let me make you a new blowhole. Oh God, it was so funny. It was purely funny because of how asinine and ridiculous the shorts were. And as I said, some of them were really adult and like dark. One of them was weird dark, which was the Malcolm and Melvin one, which I didn't see until I was a little older, which is the whole, I don't even know how to describe, I get the whole kind of running theme with the damn short, which is the whole, you live in a town in which everything kind of judged by appearances, but it's like a town in which everyone can become a star. But Malcolm and Melvin was awkward because Malcolm is like this awkward clown guy who can't really catch a break in life, period. Melvin's like this cockroach, and Melvin knows how to play the fucking trumpet. So as Malcolm is fed up with his life and is trying to commit suicide, fucking Melvin plays the music and distracts him, and he's like, oh, that sounds so good, and he wants to, he doesn't want to die, even though he gets beat the shit out of literally in the next scene. Like, the next scene is literally, he's on his way down, and like the dude in the second floor grabs him. Some of the shit didn't make any sense. Like, you had this husband and wife, the wife's like a hot wife, and then you have like the really dumb husband, and he's like, what should I do with him? Because he grabs him in mid-fall, he's like, and she's like, punish him here, dear. And he just beats the shit out of him. And I'm just like, well, what kind of logic is that? The guy's on his way to commit suicide and then gets saved only to get the shit kicked out of him, and we never find out the reason. What makes it even worse is that like the next scene when he hears the dude play the music, the wife comes up there all hot and bothered, like trying to get with Malcolm. And fucking, no wait, maybe I switched it, maybe then, it doesn't matter. The point is, weird shit happened in some of these cartoons. The Worm one was weird, the Malcolm and Melvin was weird. It was like, some of them were awesomely weird. And then you had like the ones that were just kind of stupid, but like for some reason you loved them anyway. Like the dog one, where you had these 3 dogs, which they got referenced into from another cartoon anyway. I guess it was by the same creators. These 3 dogs that had their old people owners, but like the blue dog is kind of like, it's like I'm tired of doing all the same stuff and living by my master's rules. I want to get out, I want to be free, I want to do something adventurous, and so they pretend to be pirates every night. They pretend to be pirates one night after their owners go to sleep, and they go out, because they sleep in the yard, and they have like this crazy adventures like dog pirates. It's funny. It's not inherently, it doesn't have any real theme to it, but it's actually an interesting episode to watch. And I was like, oh, I kind of wish that was a series. That like every episode was them doing something different every night. Kind of like Pinky and the Brain, except, you could turn your brain off and have fun with it. What a cartoon was awesome. Like, just see, I would talk about Kablam, but Kablam for me, I watch, but it doesn't stick in my head enough. And granted, I have been watching a lot of What A Cartoon shorts in the last few days, so that may be why all this is fresh in my head. Kabam, I enjoyed too. I may touch in the future, but it's redundant to touch the same types of shows in the same goddamn, in like the last 2 nostalgia rushes. So if I touch Kablam, it'll be later. The only thing I can really remember from Kablam off the top of my head was the Action Heroes thing. But that's all right. I'm not going to go any further. Whatever cartoon was awesome. It was a cool way of introducing new concepts and shows to the viewers and the audience and seeing what they reacted to. And damn it, I miss the golden age of Cartoon Network. That just kind of, I'm just constantly reminded how much new Cartoon Network sucks. But it's a kind of a horrible fact you gotta become aware of. That things don't stay the same. Things have to change. That's ironic because that's the name of the episode for the last Teen Titans episode. Before we got, you know, the sequel, you know, Teen Titans Go, that abomination. Alright, I made myself sad. But please talk about some of your favorite What Are Cartoons shorts, and if you haven't seen them, I'll put a few in the link in the description so you can watch a few of them, because they're actually really entertaining and fun. I haven't come close to mentioning all of them. I even like the Three Little Pigs one, but I'm not going to get into that one. But the variation is kind of interesting and funny, but I'm not going to get too much into it. But yeah, so hope you like this nostalgia rush. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Be sure to give this video a like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. And this has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace off.